Hello and welcome to all the men and women of the West. I'm Joe, here with me is my co-host Dan.
Hello and greetings.
And today we're continuing with our book club of The Phoenix on the Sword by Robert E. Howard. This is probably my favorite short story of all times. I do love Poe. I do love London. I think I like The Elephant Tower about as much to an extent, but I really enjoy this story. So at the start of chapter 4, we have a reference to Set from Egyptian mythology, who in here is depicted as a giant snake who was once wrapped around the world and was trying to squeeze it to pulp, which is a great mythological image. And you have Epimetheus, the sage, who appears to Conan in a dream. And he guides Conan along a corridor to his tomb. It's called the Black Corridor, and it's said that a phoenix guards the tomb, and the phoenix is really the symbol of Epimetheus. Epimetheus having lived about 1500 years before Conan's age and fought Set for quite some time, and he lived for about 3 times the average lifespan of a normal man, which I would probably calculate, given Howard's era, as probably being around, given that most men were probably about 60 or 70, living to the fullest of their human lifespan. You multiply that by 3, that would probably give you about 210 years. Which is a really good length of time. Then we get the fact that he engraves onto the sword, doesn't exactly engrave, but he presses into the guard, the symbol of the phoenix. That's pretty much where chapter 4 leaves us. Chapter 5 introduces the notion that the dragon is a symbol of the royal family of Aquilonia, the new one, Conan's family that he kind of started, the Sumerian dynasty. Ascalante busts in, of course, without Dion. Why would he need the king of Doriath? I'm joking. I couldn't resist that joke. Him and Ronaldo seem to be leading the conspiracy. They arrive to find Conan half-dressed. Grommel's the first to attack. It doesn't go over well for him. He's soon dead. Ascalante fears that Conan may try to escape. Ronaldo loses his reason and attacks wildly, as if he ever had reason. And of course, Conan kills Volmana and Ronaldo charges again. Ascalante renews his attack. And Ronaldo can't help Ascalante because he's suffering from a bad case of being dead. After that, Ascalante suddenly is attacked by Fafaman, who's turned himself into a weird gorilla demon monster or goblin or something, comes in and just tears Ascalante almost apart and would have attacked Conan if it were not for suddenly having a bad case of sliced to death by Conan's phoenix sword, which apparently works about as good as kryptonite to Superman. So, well, okay, actually works better than that. He's soon immediately dead. We then get Publius panicking for his baby, his monarch. Pallantides, who's enraged. And we then get treated to just how cultivated and well-educated Robert E. Howard was. And I'm just going to simp for him.
Of course.
Well, of course. He has Conan call upon the goddesses Bad, Morrigan, Matcha, and Nemain, all of whom were part of the Morriganai of Celtic mythology. They were all war goddesses, and goddesses generally of vengeance and whatnot, or who drove men into a frenzy before battle. They're just glorious. I love their mythological tales. And Conan ends up describing, because he's angered by people who think he's gone nuts, just as the high priest of Mitra arrives, he describes the entire Black Corridor that lies at the heart of Mount Golomira. It's really something that's only known to a handful of priests who have passed down the knowledge down the generations, with Conan trying to prove his case by showing the symbol of the phoenix to his high priest, who then proclaims, yeah, everything he said was totes true.
Complete legit. Not nuts, except when he slaughtered everyone. Totally legit.
And that was glorious when he did that.
Very glorious. Battle axe and everything.
I like how you had Publius, who was the fat chief minister, was the one who saw it as, we should have killed Ronaldo ages ago. Now, why a phoenix, though? That's something that, symbolism-wise, phoenixes die, are reborn, and then die again and are reborn again. And I can't help but think there is a bit of symbolism there with Conan. You could say he died and was reborn an Aquilonian king or emperor. It fits, given that the Thurian continent basically perished, and that age perished, to be reborn in to the Hyborian Age. Then the Hyborian Age is supposed to have been torn asunder to give birth to our own. It's like a phoenix. And if you look at dragons in Western mythology, they're hoarders of great treasure and women, which Conan does kind of do. They also are ferocious monsters that knights and other people try to kill, which that's kind of the case. But there's also a ferocity and a royalty that are associated with dragons, which are associated with Conan. And then you've got the Eastern dragons, which are symbols of wisdom and courage and water, where Conan, you can say, he was a pirate. He does possess wisdom, he does possess strength, so there is that symbolism that's attached to him. As to the fire of the Western dragon, given, the phoenix and everything, it's easy to associate the two with each other. The story admittedly ends before the whole reveal with the court, with one of the greatest action scenes in fantasy history. There's so little detail that there's no middle ground, and it's actually in the middle that the best action scenes are written. If you look at Tolkien and Howard, they wrote the best. Conan's also associated with a lion in the description a few times. So obviously we're supposed to draw kingly ideas about
Also, tigers.
Yeah, although the tiger is often more associated with Kull. But yeah, Conan's occasionally associated with it. Maybe that's a subtle way of maybe linking the two as ancestor and descendant. I don't know. I'm always suspicious that Howard had that intention.
And the phoenix, the dragon, the tiger, the lion, these are essentially apex predators.
But yeah, what did you think of this overall short story? Overall.
Very simple, very to the point. This is a really good short story. Could it be stretched into a full novel? Sure. But as it stands right now, I really do think that anyone who wants to do Dungeons and Dragons or be a dungeon master should read this short story.
Yeah.
There's all of the basics on how to form a good plot. You've got the villains, you've got magical artifacts, you've got main characters, you've got action, mythological references.
How would you rate this short story? 3.3.
Yeah, 3.3.
It's not flawless like Hour of the Dragon.
This is a really good story.
It's near perfect. And there's a reason we're giving it pretty much almost a top grade. 3.3 stars for a reason. This is a near perfect short story. Next time, though, we'll be doing a movie review, since that seems to be what the voters voted for. Then maybe The Queen of the Black Coast, since that's where the polls seem to have been guiding us in the community section of our channel. And we are so glad you guys ended up helping us get to 500 subs. We truly feel grateful, and we do hope that those who aren't yet subscribed who are watching this video, that you do end up smashing that like and that subscribe button, like your Conan smashing his enemies to pieces, as we could use your help to get to 1,000 subs now.